morning, all. I welcome you to today's session. I hope all of you are doing well and are safe. Uh, Today, we have with us uh, Dr. Prabhakar Babu. He is the CEO of Foragen Seeds Private Limited, Hyderabad. Sir is going to deliberate on a topic fodder conservation for commercial dairy farming. Sir, you have all the control and you might start presenting. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you so much for the organizers to give me opportunity to interact with the students and other participants. Good morning, everyone who is on the line watching my presentation. My name is Prabhakar. I did my agriculture graduation from APAU, now Angrao. Earlier, I did my MBA, then my postgraduate diploma in animal nutrition. So I'm so happy to be with you for 1 hour session on presenting fodder conservation for commercial dairy farming. So before going to that, I want to know, I want to tell you about the global dairy statistics and Indian dairy statistics, where exactly India is performing very well in milk production and dairy farming. After that, we will discuss about forage crops. We will discuss about the fodder conservation and the new techniques in fodder conservation, and what the commercial dairy farmers should look in the Indian context. So first of all, we'll discuss the presentation content. I will be presenting global forage statistics, dairy statistics in fact, then Indian dairy statistics, feed and fodder scenario in India, so new generation forages in the world, and what is the new technology interventions in India, fodder conservations and techniques, new forage crops introduced by my company, and the products information which I will be sharing to you. This is the world milk production scenario. All the green bubble size gives you the milk production content. This was around 2018 statistics. According to that statistics, the bubbles were given. So India is the largest big green bubble, which is having 180 million tons, which contributes 20% of total milk production in the world. So we should be proud that India is producing largest milk production with 187 million tons by 2018-19 statistics, which was released by Government of India last 2 months back. So all you can see the neighboring countries in Asia or Europe or Africa or northeast countries like Japan, China, Russia, all these countries. East side like Thailand, Myanmar, all these countries are very small bubble or red bubbles. That indicates they are going to be milk deficit countries soon. And the left side, if you see in Africa, only 2, 3 or 4 countries apart from very small bubbles, remaining all red bubbles or there is no bubble. That means they are very, very poor in milk production and they are looking for the imports. So this is the opportunity for India to become a very good milk exporter. So when that will be happening, when we produce quality milk, when we give assurance to the neighboring countries that we will give you better quality products with a better quality, better price, then only we will get opportunity for exports. This is the same thing in graphical mode. You can see the red line of India. In 2060s, we were nowhere, and now we are the largest milk producer, 186 million tons. And we contribute almost 19.8 to 20% of global milk production. And CAGR India is pretty good, where we have around 4.5 to 5.5% of CAGR in milk production. That is pretty good. And global milk production CAGR is around 2%. So we are double the seed milk production CAGR in the world in compared to any other country. So US is the second largest as a country. If you see, US is the largest, second largest milk producer, but the European Union as a group, they are producing around 169 million metric tons. Sometimes if you go on Google, what is the largest milk producing country, they show US is the largest milk producing country because they take only cattle milk production. They will not include any other bovines like buffaloes. So if you include buffalo and cows, that is cattle, then only India will be the number one country in the world. If you take only cows, US will be the number one, and compared to other countries, maybe European countries will come in second position. So we will be around the 10th position if you come to sorry, we will be at 4th position if you come to cow milk production only. So this is the self-sufficient country map. If you see, all green countries are self-sufficient or they are producing more than their requirement. If you see orange color or brown color or any other dark colors, that means they are in minus. They are their requirement is high and they are producing low milk production. So here in this map, you can see all the orange color and brown color countries are there neighboring to us, like China, Nepal, Bangladesh, Sri Lanka, Thailand, Myanmar, Japan. All these countries are in brown color or in dark orange color. So you can see the pattern of the milk production, which is have China is they're producing 76% of their requirement, whereas in below this China countries are they're producing 46%, even 7.4% in some of the islands in ocean. So this is the best opportunity for us to look for the export business. So this is the same statistics again. So you can see the milk production deficit in red bubbles. In country-wise statistics also I have given graphical mode. See, this is the global dairy farming trend. Trend means how much they are increasing the animal population or they are decreasing the animal population. So left side map shows that all green color countries, they are increasing the animal population, dairy farms. All the orange color countries, they are decreasing or they are removing the dairy farms. So you can see there are very small number of countries, they are increasing the animal population, they are improving the dairy farms, they are producing more milk intent. But whereas a large number of big countries, they are reducing the milk production and they are reducing the animal production also, animal population also. It shows in future, maybe around 10 to 15 years time, there will be a beautiful chance for India. There will be a bright chance to India to look for milk production exports globally. Coming to the right side map, which shows the dairy farm sizes. So that means per dairy farm of a farmer, how many animals are there in the dairy farm? So large animals are there in the oceanic countries like New Zealand and Australia. They have around average 355 animals per dairy farm. Coming to South Asia, it is only 2 animals, including India. That means a large chunk of farmers, they have only below 5 animals of dairy farms in India, maybe around 1 to 2, 3 animals. So it shows the technology that we are going to give, or we have to ask the farmer to adopt for the small dairy farms only. If I give a technology for big dairy farms like 500,000, 20,000 animal dairy farm, that may not be economically workable or viable for the small dairy farmers. So when we as a company, we look for the dairy farm size and we give them the adoptable or easy to adopt the technology to the farmers. Especially 65% to 70% of the dairy farm expenses will be on feeding only, will be on the nutrition. So if you control that 65%, 70% of the expenses, definitely you will be in the profitable dairy farming. If you don't control the expenses of feeding, definitely there will be a loss. If you ask any farmer in India, 80% of the farmers, they say it is a loss business for them, because the planning for the feeding is very, very poor in Indian condition. So we are trying to educate the farmer in all the angles, from the seed selection till the milk production. We are educating the farmers to go for cost-effective feeding to get more profit. As a commodity, milk prices we cannot increase because it depends on so many factors. So when we ask farmer to get more profit, there is only one thing: to reduce the cost of production. Then only the profits will be there. So when we ask the farmer if they want to go for profitable milk dairy farming, they look for cost-effective feeding only. So the right side map shows that the European Union is 19 cows, around 20 cows per dairy farm. Around North America, it is around 190 cows per dairy farm. And Latins, it is 14 cows dairy farm. So when we adopt any technology, when we give farmer a good technology to transform the technology, then definitely we have to keep all the basic statistics. What could be the right strategy we have to adopt in those countries? So coming to India and the state-wise, this is the Indian milk production at a glance. You can see from where we have started and where we are reached right now. This map is based on the annual report by Animal Husbandry Department last year. So we got this, the per capita availability is almost 400 grams, which is pretty good. Milk is the cheapest protein source. Milk is the cheapest energy source. Milk is the cheapest available food in the rural village. So it is the best food for the rural people to make their healthy conditions. So we have started from 90,000 million tons from 2004, and we have reached around 187 million tons in 19. So this is a great journey we are continuing. And world largest milk producing country recorded growth of 6.4% last 2 years, which is 4% higher than milk global milk or world milk growth. So we should be proud for it. Buffalo milk contributes around 35% of the total milk production in 187 million tons. And if you include other breeds of buffaloes, it is more than 49%. Cows, here in this right side pivot table, the round, we will see that cow buffaloes are different. We have given here. Cow crossbred, it is giving 26% contribution. Cow indigenous, it is increasing yearly, it is 10% now. And non-descriptive animals are giving 11% of milk production. And goats are giving 3%, and exotic cows, only the high-end milk, that is more than 40-50 liters, they are producing 1% of milk. So coming to the next slide, we have state-wise milk production and the yield records. So normally UP biggest of milk producing country because it is the largest animal populated country, state in the country. So we have around 16.3% of milk contribution from UP. Second largest milk producing state is Rajasthan with 12.6% of total milk. And Madhya Pradesh is 8.5%, and J&K is 1.4%, it is contributing. And coming to the below graph, it is milk producing productivity countries. There are two again animals are there. One is crossbred. Hello? Is there any question to ask me?
No, sir. There was some actual disturbance. No problem. Please continue.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So if you see the below graph, you can easily observe which state is producing a lot of milk with the productivity. So cow milk production productivity in Punjab is highest, which is around 13.4 liters per cow. And second largest is Kerala, which is 10.2. Obviously, the number of animals are very low and they care very well. And we may not take Kerala as an example because a lot of parameters are there. But definitely we can consider Maharashtra and AP because their productivity is 9.6 liters per cow per day. So then the third largest is Gujarat. Even though it is a Gir cow populated state, they are producing around 9.3 liters per cow. And non-descriptive indigenous animals also. Punjab is contributing around 6.9 liters per animal per day, and Haryana is contributing 5.9 liters per cow per day. So coming to our, these are the basic statistics, everybody should know it. So coming to the fodder conservation. So what is fodder conservation? Storage of produced excess fodder in a different manner. That is called fodder conservation, whether it is a silage, whether it is a hay, whether it is a kutti or whatever. So conservation is helpful for readily fodder available for dairy to feed animals in 365 days. So before going to this, I want to show 2-3 slides more, because as a fodder seed company, so I would like to show all of you regarding what is the fodder crops available in India and what is the opportunities for us as a fodder company we have. So we have these basic statistics we have already known, but again I want to emphasize on 6-7 points. 43% of incremental milk produced in the world from now till 25 year 2025, India will be the contributed or incremental milk production will be 43%, which is more than 25 to 30% of global average milk increment. So Indian milk production growing at a better pace than world. India is a competitive producer in the world. We can produce around 13 rupees a liter. But no country in the world with a stall feeding, maybe grazing countries like Australia, Kenya, New Zealand, those countries, they have a huge land bank. Just they leave the animals to go and graze, come back and give milk. We cannot compete with those countries, but stall feeding countries, if you compare any country in the world, we are the better and competitive price milk producing cost. So we should be ready for the next level of milk exports, giving highest returns to the farmers. In the world, if you compare milk production, farmer level milk production cost and selling to the processors and again getting back price to the farmers, we are paying highest in the world to the farmers. That means the returns to the farmers is better than any other country in the world. So that is a motivation for the farmer. India is located in the area surrounded by milk deficit regions. We have already seen in the graphs. India is the largest producer of A2 milk in the world. So last 6-7 years in central government also promoting a lot of A2 milk production because of high indigenous cattle strength. We are able to produce A2 milk, A2 protein milk in the world. Now we will be ready for export of this milk. Can divert more milk to process. We are processing only below 10% of milk now. So 90% of the milk we are consuming as a raw milk. So if you increase this processing milk up to 25-30%, we can pay better price to the farmers. We can get a better revenue for the country also by exporting. So value-added products give more price to anybody, maybe producer, maybe processor, maybe consumer, all this. Productivity enhances program going on. Productivity enhancement means government is supporting by giving lot of subsidies to build dairy farms, to buy good quality cows, progenies, and to build milk processing units, to give subsidies on fodder seed, feed consumption, all these things. So these programs are conducted by states as well as central government. These are the fodder crops available currently in India. We have around 8.3 million hectares of growing fodder crops. There are two different. One is growing fodder crops and the other one is range and pastures. We will not consider range and pastures because that will be included in forest land and other things. We will consider only 8.3 million hectares as a fodder crops. So we have given the bifurcation also in the left side tables, bubbles. So we have range and pastures around 39%, annual crops of 50%. So these annual crops only grown by seed propagation. So these seed propagation annual crops we have given in the below. Clover is having 25%. SSG, that means sorghums, are having 24%. African tall, which is fodder corn, is having 11%. Forage millet is having 11%. Forage sorghum, like single cut sweet sorghums, other types of sorghums, will be 7%. Grasses like annual ryegrass, like other grasses, will be around guinea grass will be around 4%. Silage corn will be around 1%. Cowpea will be around 3%. Alfalfa, that is lucerne, will be around 12%. So these are the benefits of new generation forages. One is milk increase. Everybody knows that if you give good quality fodder, we'll increase the milk production. The second is we will also increase milk productivity, which is countable, because every day how many liters per cow per day we'll get, that is going to give us more profit. The third one is we can also increase the lactation days. From average, now in India we have 176 average lactation days. If you increase up to 250 days, farmer is going to get 70 days more milk with the same animal. So normal average healthy cow or buffalo will give us 300 days of milk, 300 days milk in a year, if it is a healthy animal. So in India we have average lactation days is around 176, I believe. Now if we increase 25-30 days, so that will give around 30 days profit for the farmer in a year. If you increase further, that will be benefit for the farmer with the same animal. So that is a good benefit from the good quality forages. And we can reduce the cost of milk production also. We can increase the consumption rate. We can reduce the dry period. So timely calving, healthy calves, these are the benefits from the new generation forages. In future, there will be a good option also, good benefit, that is a methane reduction from dairy animals. So now World Bank also started counting methane emission, that is to control the methane emission. So they are starting one organization in Netherlands to give some incentives for the dairy farmers. Those are reducing the methane emission from the dairy farmers. So this will be also one of the better income source for dairy farmers in future in India also. So then we will go for our dairy conservation slides now. So next is a type of conservation. One is silage, the second one is hay making. So silage also we have different types of silage making. Hay also there are different types of hay to say. Coming to silage, we have four types of silage making. One is bunker, the second one is bagging, the third one is drum, the fourth one is baling. In bunker silages we have two types. One is surface bunkers, the second one is underground bunkers. The underground bunkers are very old technology and farmers just they're leaving adoption of it. The surface bunker is getting more popular and popular in the dairy farms. This is just building 3 walls above the ground with a cement concrete, and this bunker, they chop the material, they fill it, they run the tractor to compact, and this is the cost effective solution in silage making. Coming to bag, there is single bagging method. The second one is multi-bagging method. Single bagging is run by a machine, a tractor mounted silage bagging machine. That will be for around 100 to 150 metric ton. They will just fill that bag, they keep it in the farm. In the multi-bagging system, they take 50 kg, 25 kg, 100 kg bags, they fill it, they compact it, they store for making silage. Drums is in India and African countries, very small number of people they are using it. They use plastic drums, 100 kg, 50 kg. They fill the chopped material in it. They compact it. They seal it for 25, 30 days, and again they open it and they feed the animals. And baling and latest technology is a wrapping bales. This is a fully automated units are running in India. There are around 70,000 metric ton to 1 lakh metric tons the people are making, and that they're selling as a commercial dairy farm, commercial silage. This is a surface bunker. You can easily put it on ground with a cement concrete. 1 square meter carries, we can keep around 2 metric tons of silage in this. You can plan, or you can make a size of the bunker as per your requirement. That means animal size. If you have 10 animals, you have to feed 20 kg per animal per day. 10 into 20 is 200 kg per day into 365 days. That means around 7,500 tons of silage you require per year. 7,000 silage metric tons of silage is divided by 2 metric ton. That means 3,000 square feet is sufficient for to make 20 animals or 10 animals per year silage requirement. So that is the calculation method. You have to adopt it. So if you make surface bunkers, there won't be any moisture pressure. If you dig the bunker in the below the soil, there is a full moisture pressure. There will be lot of water seepage. You can escape from those type of issues from surface bunker, and there is no rat damage like in bunkers. In digging bunkers, like below the surface, you will have rat damage and other things. Ammonia, pH problems will be there. In surface bunker, you can control all these problems. So then, 1 second, I'll just go other sides. We'll go for a wrapping kind of stuff. I'll show you the film now. Are you able to see the screen now? Excuse me. Are you able to see the screen now?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. This silage making mission is from AP only in Andhra Pradesh.
No audio is displaying.
No audio.
No video.
So video is not coming up.
Sir, video is not coming, sir. Better to open in other window, sir.
Wait. I'll just put it in the.
Just a second, sir. Do one thing, sir. You would have to then share your entire screen. Basically, you are showing only slides. The video, if the video is on slide, or since the video is not on the slide, it's dropped as a link and it opens in a separate window. It's not visible. You do one thing, stop sharing, then share your entire screen.
Okay.
Since there would be a challenge of showing video, why? Because the video plays at some speed from your computer, and then it comes through via Meet to somebody else at a different speed. Anyways, you can play it and we can see it.
Are you able to see now?
Yeah, you can maximize it. Yes, perfect.
Okay, this kind of balings units are available in India. Around 20 to 25 units are there. Punjab is having around 5 to 6 units per kg of silage. They are selling around 5 rupees to 7 rupees according to their business and demand. And this each bale we can produce from 60 kg to 1000 kg. So
Can you
whenever
switch to the presentation now? Because you are on the video.
okay.
And start the slideshow.
Sir, if possible, can you repeat once again?
Sure, I'll do that. So this one is class Jaguar is the fastest forage harvester. We have 2-3 companies. They are giving a high productive forage harvesters. This is class company. They call it as a Jaguar. So this can be this machine can harvest around 15 acres a day. So each acre, if you count 20 tons into 15, that is 300 tons they can harvest a day. So when we plan to make silage with corn, definitely there should be cob. Along with cob only, we have to make silage. If you miss the cob, or if you harvest the cob and give only biomass as silage, and there won't be any energy source from the silage. If there is no energy or starch, milk production will be reducing from the cows. So when we make silage, we should definitely think of starch or energy from the crop. Then only that will be quality silage. So this guy, this guy is sprinkling inoculants. If you mix inoculant on the chopped material, inoculant is nothing but bacteria culture. That will increases the lactic acid or fermentation in the silage. If you add inoculants, the bacteria culture, so they act fast than fungus. If the fungus grow faster than the bacteria, fungus will damage the silage. If you inactivate fungus and if you activate bacteria, that will give quick silage production. That will give you excellent fermentation of the feed. So if you give fermented fodder to the animal, so the energy they consume for fermentation in the rumen will be minimized. That energy also they convert into the milk production. So the better thing is to add inoculants for the silage making, so that the fungus development, we can arrest the fungus development, we can increase the fermentation process quick, and that will give us silage availability in 15 to 20 days itself. The chopped material they load again into the bin of the wrapping film unit. So this wrapping film unit is imported from Arkel company, so which is again a European company, the largest manufacturer good quality compactors. So this is a 850 model. That means this can make 400 kg bale. there are different models, 100 kg, 400 kg, and 1 ton, 2 tons capacity balers. So this baler is from Oracle, and this makes 400 kg bales. To make good anaerobic condition, then only you will get more good quality silage. To make anaerobic condition, we have to arrest light. We have to take it out all the air or oxygen from the fodder source. If you take out oxygen or air from the fodder source, and if you don't allow light to go inside, and there won't be very less chance of emerging fungus, and the fermentation process will be very quick. So the compaction levels will here in this compactor will be more than 3800 density. So there won't be even 3% of oxygen in the compaction.
आगे की दीवार की मैं खुदाई करवा रहा हूँ, तो अभी आगे अगली बार से बैनर या कुछ ना कुछ लगा के इस पर करना है आपको।
Haji? Hello?
Unfortunately, some candidate had put his mic on unmute.
Okay.
Please continue.
These bales can be stored up to 18 months. It can be opened in around 25 to 30 days. It can be useful, and you can store this on the open space for 18 months. Since the films are UV treated films, so ultraviolet rays treated films, this won't be damaged unless rats are damaged by the rats. So we have to keep rats away from these bales, or else you can keep these bales for 18 months. Once you open it, you have to consume in 48 hours. Okay, we will go now for the presentation. Okay, then we'll go for quality hay making. We have learned about silage. So remaining back.
You have not started present now. Click on the present now option from Chrome. Choose a window or screen.
Okay.
Then choose the PowerPoint.
Share. Now it's coming.
It's yeah. It's visible. Please start the show. Yes.
Yeah. So in bunker we have discussed in bag silage. So there will be small bags to be filled, drums, and wrapping film also we have seen now. Coming to the hay making, how to make hay, because hay is very, very important for the dairy animals. If you give only silage or if you give only green fodder, definitely there will be negative energy impact in the animals, and there will be definitely milk production reduction. Sometimes it will also harmful for the animal health. So we have to feed at least 3 to 3.5 kg for high yielding animals in a day, or small animals around 250 to 300 kg, around 2000 to 3000 grams of dry fodder every day. So in this context, hay is the very, very important fodder component for the dairy animals. Select a forage species that can produce a good quality hay. Good hay retains as many leaves as possible, since the leaves contain 2/3 of protein. So hay means whenever the crop you select for hay making, you should intact of the leaves should be there. So because everybody knows it, leaves only carries protein. So if you drop the leaves like legume crops, like groundnut hay, like lucerne, like barsim, like any other chana, vagera. So these crops, if you leave the leaves on the ground, if you take only the straw, make hay, that won't be any useful for the animals. When you make hay, you should keep in mind leaves also should be there in green color with along with the plant. Then only it will be good hay. Harvest the crop at the best stage of maximum nutritive values and yield. So when you harvest the crop for hay making, the leaves as well as the nutritive value should be intact in the plant. If you make 100% dry hay, dry matter hay, that won't be that won't be palatable for the animals. Animals doesn't like to eat 100% dry matter fodder or dry matter hay. So there should be at least 18%, 12% to 18% moisture. Then only animals will be happy to eat that kind of hay. Forage crop produce more yield as they mature, but nutritive value and palatability decreases as first bloom or heading stage. Good hay must harvest the balanced best quantity quality. So this is very important thing. So when the harvest should happen in the forage crops. See, everybody should know that what is the correct stage of harvesting forage crop. So if you want to harvest the forage crop, 50% flowering is the right stage. But in some multi-cut species, before flowering itself, we have to cut the crop. But when you leave the crop to make flowers and to make grain itself, all the nutritive values in the plant goes to flowers, and they make starch out of it and they make grain out of it. Grains, matured grains cannot be digestible in the rumen. They will come out in the dung because of cuticle layer of the grain. So if you want to digest the grain also in the rumen, you have to crack the grain, or you have to feed the grain at the milky stage. Then only the starch is available for the animal to digest. Even in silage making also, when is the right stage of the crop to cut for silage making? That is very important. And duff stage or second milk line stage in the maize crop is the right stage. If at all you have a over mature corn crop to be make silage, because sometimes continuous rain or there is no availability of machinery, or sometimes you miss the right stage. If you have very fully matured crop, how to make silage? That is also options are available. If you have a good quality harvester with a grain cracker in the harvester itself, they crack the grain while chopping the material. If you open the grain cuticle layer, that means if you crack the grain, the starch is available for the fermentation. So you have to select such a kind of machinery which can crack the grain itself. In the hay making, hay is doesn't produce or doesn't include grain. So you have to make hay at the flowering, 50% flowering only, anthesis size stage. If you make the grain harvested or grain included hay, that will not be a good quality hay. Cut the hay so that drying and baling hay can be done efficiently while maintaining the quality. You have to chop the hay to make good quality. So moisture should be 15 to 18%. 90% moisture so that great deal drying with it. All the precautions we have discussed. So selection of suitable hybrids for silage making. So foragen, we have 5 groups of forage crop. One is sorghum based forage crops. Second one is millet based silage crops. Third one is maize based silage crops. Legume based silage crops, and other crops means grasses. So in sorghum based silage crop, we have BMR sweet sorghum, which is in India, we are only the company, we have this kind of hybrid. BMR means brown mid rib. In the leaf, the midrib will be in brown color. On all the stem, so you can hear in the pictorial, the stem also in brown color. Because of the lignin content, the mutation, because of mutation, we have reduced the lignin content in the stem. So BMR gives 28 to 35% lesser lignin than the normal sorghum. Any sorghums will have 12 to 14% of lignin in the stem. Because of that one lignin percentage, sorghums will give around 58% to 68% of digestibility in the rumen. Coming to the BMRs, because of 25 to 30% lesser lignin, so it contains only 8 to 9% of lignin in the stem walls. Because of less lignin, the digestibility will be more compared to the conventional sorghums. So BMR sweet sorghum honey pot. Honey pot is the brand name of this hybrid. Honey is in brown color and honey is in sweet. So these because of that one we have kept this brand name honey pot. Plant will be in brown color like honey. Plant will be very sweet like honey. So we have given this honey pot. It grows around 10 to 11 feet height and it gives 1.5 tons of grain also. When we make silage, there are two sources we have. One is energy sources. One is grain, which is a starch based energy. The second one is sweetness, that means sugars in the juice. Sugar also is an energy source. From this hybrid, we can get two sources for energy. One is sugar based energy. The second one is starch based energy from grain. So, and also third one we have is less lignin, high digestibility. So the three kinds of benefit is there from this hybrid honey pot while we make silage. If you want to feed it as a green fodder, then also this is the best fodder available, because the palatability will be more because of honey like sweet, and the if you intake is more, and the rumen also digest more fodder. If the rumen digest more fodder, the energy comes more. If there is more energy, you will definitely get more milk production. And here we have given the stars also for the animals. So this is the best for 5-star for cows, 5-star for buffaloes, 3-star for horses, and 3-star for sheep and goat. And for green fodder, this is excellent. For silage making, this is excellent. And silage making, this is excellent. And the first time in India, Foragen has launched this product. These snaps are taken from Haryana, Punjab, and UP. So we used to conduct field days with farmers. So you can see the height of the crop and the growth of the crop and farmer happiness and everything here. And the second one in corn, we have launched silage corn by the brand name of Silage Master. 8 to 10 kg seed rate per acre. In 70 days, you can harvest the crop to make silage. It gives around 25 to 28 metric tons of yield per acre. And the grain yield, grain percentage in the total biomass will be around 28%. And the beauty of this Silage Master is it gives 2% higher oil content in the grain. If there is more oil content, you will get more protein in the silage. Normal corn silage will have around 7.8 to 8% of protein only. But if you make silage with the Silage Master of Foragen Company, you will get 9 to 10% of protein in the silage. More protein will give you more milk production and more animal health. So we have another crop called Robust, which is very cost effective for the farmer. Only 100 rupees is the seed cost. So we are promoting combination of crop. 2 kg of cowpea, which is an indeterminate cowpea, which will grow like grapevine along with the corn. 2 kg of cowpea and 8 kg of Robust we are giving to the farmer to broadcast in 1 acre. That will give around 6 tons of legume crop and 18 to 20 tons of corn biomass. So both legume and corn combination will give us very good balanced diet for the animal. So this is the, we call it as a power pack. In 5 kg bag, we are giving to the farmer 4 kg of corn grain, corn seed, and 1 kg of cowpea. So that is a power pack of 5 kg, which is sufficient for half acre of land. So 2 packets of power pack is sufficient for 1 acre of land. So coming to green fodder hay suitable forage crops, we have Fat Boy, which is very fast growing in India, the fast growth SSG in India. In even 55 days, it grows around 10 feet height, which is a multi-cut one, the best for hay making and green fodder. And this is a Sprint Gold, again CSS 24MF, which is notified by Government of India, like the name as CSS 24MF. Our brand name is Sprint Gold. So this is the largest selling single forage hybrid in India. So we are producing around 6,000 tons of Sprint Gold. We sell through different subsidized program, through different state subsidy programs like government subsidies, and we also sell a commercial like Sprint Gold in all the states, from UP to from J&K to Kashmir. We are selling around 2,200 tons in trade and 5,200 tons in subsidized sales in government channels. And the other product is for green fodder, Sweet Spot, which is a sweet sorghum hybrid. The first sweet sorghum hybrid released in India is this one, Sweet Spot, and exclusively this will be Ganna like Meta. So we can make juice out of it. We can drink like Ganna juice. This is the sweetest hybrid in India. Only 5 kg seed rate per acre. It will give 30 tons yield per acre in 90 days time. And coming to millets, sometimes when we ask farmer, high pest pressure fields like Punjab, Haryana, they get lot of stem borer, lot of pest. They used to spray 3 to 4 times pesticides on fodder crops, which is very harmful for the animal. So wherever pest pressure is there, so we recommend millets as a pearl millet as a alternative fodder crop, which is a multi-cut. So Wonderleaf is our brand, which gives 5 to 8 cuts in each 25 to 30 days interval to the farmers. This product can be sown from February to August. So in winter, it doesn't grow very well because of photosensitive crop. In summer time, in even 140 days, it won't flower. So best time for the growing of this crop is from February to August. So all the fodder crops in foragen, we have 80% of hybrids are photosensitive. They grow very well in long day length time, and in a shorter day length time in winters, these products are not suitable. So Wonderleaf is the very best crop which can produce around 16 to 20 tons green fodder yield in each 25 to 30 days interval. Farmer can cut the crop by leaving 4 inches from the ground for multi-cuts. It will carry 16% protein in leaves. The second fodder crop, which is Millet Max, this is the fastest growing millet. So Wonderleaf will grow a little bit slow in the first cut stage. After first cut, from second cut stage, it grows very fast. But whereas in Millet Max, it gives very fast growth in 30 days time or 35 days time. It grows around 5 feet to 5.5 feet height. This is also carries around 16% protein in the leaves. And the legume crop, which I told you, along with the robust corn hybrid, we are giving this a cowpea called Climber. Why we have kept this Climber name is, this is an indeterminate crop. It grows or it climbs along with sorghum or maize plant. Both the crops can cut around 70 days to 75 days for green fodder, and 80-85 days are for silage making. Thank you so much for giving us the opportunity. If you have any questions, you can ask me. Question and answers, you are most welcome for this session.
Thank you, sir. Participants can ask question now, please.
This is Ali Hussain.
Ji, Hardeep ji.
For utilization of the silage,
Yeah.
in Andhra Pradesh, if we open one bundle, it is misutilizing, it is damaged. How can we prevent?
The damage is The can you repeat
Hello?
the question once again, please?
The silage bundle is there.
Okay.
If the farmer is utilizing this 400 kg bundle is open, then
Okay.
it is damaged.
Okay.
Is there any method?
Yes, yes. See, while making silage, we have to keep two things in mind. One is the moisture percentage in the crop when we make silage. If it is higher than the 65 to 70% of moisture, then definitely there will be a spoilage of silage. So we have to make sure that the silage making should be the proper appropriate moisture. So in the bundles or bales, why the silage spoilation will be there? There will be two chances. One is high moisture content and the compact levels. If the compaction is not good, then definitely there will be a silage problem will be there. So if you want to avoid such kind of situations, we have to make the bales when the correct moisture levels are there. Or if moisture level is very high, there is no any other option for the silage maker. You have to mix 15 to 20% of dry matter in it. Dry matter means either wheat busa or any paddy straw chopped material you have to mix along with the high moisture content fodder chopping material, so that you can control the moisture levels when we make silage.
Thank you, sir. Thanks so much.
Yeah, welcome. And the second part is when we make silage, if you add inoculants, which will be activate bacterial fermentation quick process, so that will also arrest the fungal growth in the silage. So that will also be one of the area you have to look into that using of inoculants.
Sir, from the farmer side, if we make a silage, then we utilize the lactobacillus as an inoculum.
Yes, we can use it.
The percentage of inoculation?
The percentage of inoculation will be 0.2%. If the concentration is more than 800 MU, 8,000 MU, it will be 2%. If it is 6,000 MU, it will be 4%.
Thank you, Doctor. Thank you so much.
Yeah, welcome, sir.
Any other question, please?
Hello.
Yes, sir.
Very nice presentation, Dr. Prabhakar. Actually, I want to know regarding what your comment on addition of molasses in silage making. Do you think it is recommended, or we go for only silage crops having sugar content, higher sugar content?
Yeah. Sir, silage making, molasses usage, utilization in silage making, earlier it was a mandate and recommended one. Because of high dry matter content and there is no starch available, there is no sugar available in the silage material, then we have to add any material, sugar material to activate the bacteria to go for fermentation. So now the latest silage making people, they are utilizing good crop of corn, which is grain is already available, starch also already available, and if they go for sorghum based silage, the sugar also is available already. So nowadays molasses is not a mandate to utilize or usage in the silage. Without molasses you can get good quality of silage.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, welcome.
Sir, I can add something to you.
Sir?
Hello. Sir, good afternoon.
Yes, sir, good afternoon.
Yeah. This is Raj Kishore from Andhra Pradesh only.
Yeah, Raj got
Yeah, sir. One thing you have shown the in the conservation of green fodder, silage is the best method. That too, baling is the best one compared to all others of silage making.
No,
Should be
for
a
me,
present.
no. There are two things. Why I told you, if you want to commercially sell or to distribute, bale silages are better. For
Yeah,
for
okay.
own consumption, bunker silage is the best. It is a cost.
Okay, sir. Okay. And you have shown in the video with regard to that 400 kgs bales, right, sir?
Yeah.
So, as rightly the first person asked you, in the Indian context, majorly all the livestock units, if you see, farmer may be having 3 to 5, not more than 3 to 5 animals on the regular basis. Whereas
Yeah.
if you do it on a commercial basis with a 400 kgs bale, which one is very large, even to handle also it is a big problem. And we have
Yeah.
seen it very clearly in Andhra also. Under the fodder security policy, you all people have been there at Vijayawada also, sir. So
Yeah.
I think the recommendation of 400 kg is not allowed because of a lot of spoilage. Because and again carrying that 400 kg bale into the interior parts of the villages also is a difficult for the government also if you are supplying. So
Okay.
I think they have gone for a small bales, right, sir? I think you got the point.
Yeah.
So I wish
yeah.
I wish if you popularize the small sized bale, sir, it would be very much beneficial to the farmer. I think that 400
See,
kg
there are
bale
two-
is a gone issue in India. I think it is not a fruitful one, sir.
Okay. So thank you for that, for your acknowledgement of government distribution, because I want to tell the project which the AP government has taken last 2 years back, the earlier government. So they have taken the excellent initiative to distribute silage. Because of silage, AP government has ranked 4 in the milk production milk production chart in India. So that is the beauty of government. If they want to take any bold steps to change the entire program, that is the area the stakeholders has to take the beautiful steps. So because of silage distribution, the farmer now, earlier those who are used to get around 4 liters per animal, they are getting around 6 to 8 liters animal. And their daily income has increased. And also the farmer, the adoption of silage, they know how to make silage themselves. They're making 20 kg, 30 kg, 40 kg silage in their houses now. And they know the profit or benefit from the silage. So as Raja Kishore Singh already as mentioned now, distribution of 400 kg is very difficult for the small farmers. So we have stopped, the government has stopped now to distribute 400 kg. Now they are promoting small packs like 40 kg, 50 kg. And they are promoting technology to the farmers now. They are not distributing. They are asking farmers to produce themselves this silage. For that, they are distributing seed, they are distributing technology leaflets, they are giving some, inoculants, all these. NGOs are doing pretty good in AP and other states. So silage is very good stuff for the farmer, which is easily farmer can do at their doorstep. As a 4Agent, I am assuring all the group, those who are listening to me, we are ready to give free services how to make silage in the farmer groups. If you have any farmer group, please connect with us. We will train them on free of cost. We will train them. We will give them good quality inputs at the subsidized cost. Inoculants, seed, and other materials. We will train them how to make silage in their homes itself. If farmer makes their own silage, they can make at 2 rupees a cost per kg. If we will give them in the milk farm, they will get around 5 to 5.5 rupees a kg of silage. So the cost benefit ratio will be around 200% to the farmer if they feed silage. So this is the beauty of silage. Thank you, Rajaji.
Yes, sir. Nice, sir. Nice. Thank you.
Sir,
Hello.
sir, is there any technology, is there any methodology to reduce the cost of production of one cattle? You have said that one cattle give the 5 to 6 liter per day. In such a situation in the villages, it is expensive for the production of the milk. Is there any much more technology? Is there any?
I want to tell you, if the the digestibility of the fodder or the digestibility of the hay or dry fodder, the digestibility of the concentrate which the farmer is feeding to the animals. These three stuffs are dependable on the cost of milk production. 65 to 70% of the total milk production cost depends on the feeding itself. If you reduce the cost of production, automatically the profitability goes up to the farmers. See, when we want to increase the milk production to the farmers, we have to keep two things in mind. One is the breed quality. The second one is feeding ability. If we feed 10 kg and ask for 5 liters, it won't give. It has to feed around 10% of their body weight. Then only it will give the potential milking, whatever the potential milking is there. So if animal wants to eat 10% of their body weight, which is 30 to 40 kg per day, you have to give good palatable grass, good palatable feed. Then only it can intake will be 40 kg, 30 kg or 50 kg. If you feed only 10 kg or 20 kg and if you ask 2 liters or 2 buckets of milk, how can it gives? So we have to educate the farmer to give balanced diet. If he gives only dry fodder, if the dry fodder is not available, if he gives only concentrate, which is feed, which is 25-30 rupees a kg, and if he feeds 4 kg for 4 liters every day, which is not a cost effective, it will be more costlier than the milk. So we have to educate the farmer how to reduce the concentrate usages, how to increase the high palatable grasses. In front of his home itself, he has to grow the fodder crops 365 days. Then only he will get more fodder availability to get more milk production. So those kind of the 365 day solutions, it is there available with Foragen. If somebody wants to just write down my email ID, please send your request. I can send you free of cost, or you can text me in WhatsApp. I will revert back to you, sir.
Hello, good afternoon, sir. Very nice
Yes,
presentation, sir. I am
thank you,
having
sir.
one submission. After opening of any silage bale, hello.
Yes, yes, sir.
After opening of any silage bale for one time, again we can keep in for some more time. Any process is there or any technique is there? How we can keep for 1 or 2 days again more after opening of bag, sir?
Sir, after opening of any silage bag, bale or bunker, you need to consume it within 48 hours. If you want to, if any large bunker is there, more than 100 tons, 200 tons, when you take out the required quantity of silage, immediately you have to close it without allowing any oxygen to get into the silage, without allowing any lighting longer period into the bunker. You have to close it. If you allow oxygen and light into the silage, definitely there will be a spoilage of silage. So we have to keep in mind, whenever you want to take it out silage, you have to take it out quickly within 15 minutes. Again, you have to close the bunker or close the bag. That method can give you around 15 to 20 days time. If you open the small kind of bale or bag, we cannot restrict light, or we cannot restrict oxygen to go into that bag. So that can be consumed in 48 hours only.
Okay, okay. Thank you, sir.
Sir, is there more? Give your phone number, please.
Please write down my mobile number 900 900 9 के बाद 50 2334 2334. I'm testing in the message box also. I'm testing. Please take it out.
Hello.
Yes, sir.
Hello, sir.
900 000 2334, sir.
Hello.
Yes, sir. Hello.
Sir, myself Kakasab Chavan from Marathwada region of Maharashtra.
बोलिए चौहान साहब.
Hello, sir.
Yes, sir. I'm hearing you.
My question is that in one slide you are saying that giving the highest returns to the farmers.
Okay.
Our Marathwada in Maharashtra, farmers got only 18 to 25 rupees per liter cost for cow milk, and for buffalo milk 35 to 40 rupees per liter. So
Okay,
this is not proper returns to the farmers.
Yes.
These both agencies, government agency and also private agencies, give this much price to our milk. So how it is profitable, sir? It is not
Sir, Chavan,
highest return, sir.
Okay. I told you in the beginning of my presentation, commodity price, milk as a commodity, the price is not in our hands. Whatever the price
Yeah.
that decided by many aspects. So farmer cannot decide their own produce, like other commodity, like even milk also. Once he sells himself to the consumer, then he decides his own milk. When he gives to the processors, like cooperatives, like private sector, they will decide the price and he has to sell. I agree with you. Maharashtra is the one state where farmer is getting very less price to the commodity. So to counter this, we have to educate the farmer how to produce the milk with a lower production cost. There are different methods.
That's true.
Yeah. So if the farmer in Maharashtra, because of high pumping or advertising or by any cooperative or any other people, farmers in Maharashtra, they are using high quantity of feed for the crossbred animals.
Yeah.
Because of that one, the milk production cost is 20 rupees to 28 rupees in some of the dairies, while they are getting only 18 rupees to 20 rupees per liter, which is a loss making or no profit, no loss making for the dairy farmers. What as a people with connected with the farmers, what we have to do is to reduce the concentrate utilization. That is the only the source we have to make them profitable. When they reduce the concentration cost or feeding quantity, definitely there will be a reduction of milk production. To counter the reduction, we have to increase the high protein or high energy forage crops for the diet. Because of low water availability in the Maharashtra region, they cannot grow multiple fodder crops. So the best choice for them is
Yes, sir.
multi-cut high energy crop like sorghum and multi-cut high energy, high protein lucerne. These two are the best combination for the Maharashtra farmers. So 25 to 30 kg of sorghum, 10 kg of lucerne per farmer, per animal, if they give per day, they can get without concentration 10 liters from cow, 6.5 liter from buffalo, which was recorded in IGFRI nutrition department. So once we go to the farmer, when we go to the farmer, we have to educate them. These are the diet you have to follow, that you can get more milk with the affordable cost. If you mix sorghum and lucerne, the cost of milk production will be 6.5 rupees to 8 rupees only. If they sell at 18 rupees also, they can get 8 rupees to 10 rupees per liter profit.
Okay, sir. So this KVK's role is most important in this, sir.
Yeah.
Okay, sir. Okay.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir. Thanks a lot for being with us and sharing.
Sir, Majid sir, please excuse me. I am Ramakrishna from Hyderabad, sir. There is a question for Prabhakar, sir.
Sir, tell me, Ramakrishna Garu.
Sir, I am working in veterinary college, sir, Korutla. So nearby one young fellow, he started this silage bales business. So he's running successfully, and also we bought for our college also we used the silage quality and other aspects are very good in nature, but the practical problem is that it is creating lot of this film. The film which is used in packing that we are unable to dispose.
Yeah.
So is there any way of disposing that film? Any agency who are purchasing that disposed film? That is my question. One thing. Why? Because nowadays people are talking much about the environment and plastic pollution and all those things. So that is causing one of this thing. It is a practical difficulty we face during the use of the silage. By using this silage bales. So definitely, as you said, that this silage business, it is a good business model nowadays. People are earning much more profits out of this silage baling. And one more thing, as Kona sir, Rajkishore sir, he said that 40 to 50 kg silage bale is absolutely good for the marginal and small farmer, those who are owning 2 to 3 buffaloes or less than that. And also Telangana government also, they are distributing the sheep for sheep rearers. They are also purchasing this silage and they are utilizing, sir.
Yeah. Thank you, Ramakrishna sir. See, there are multiple companies, they are collecting the used plastic material. So Reliance has taken that initiative, and if you have 100 kg or more than that film, which is waste film with you, I will send you the person who can collect that one from your place. So please text me the details. I will send you the problem. I will send you the person to collect that material.
Prabhakar Garu. Hello.
Yes, sir.
This is Ali Hussain from Andhra Pradesh.
Okay.
Could suggest me that a liter of milk can fix the minimum support price, like 30 rupees or 40 rupees or 50 rupees. Which one is the suitable? It is your opinion.
Sir, I am not the right person to comment on that, but as a dairy person, as a nutrition person, I can tell you, see, if it is 28 to 35 rupees, depends on the place. Which, if it is a 100% commercial dairy farmer, he has to get more price, which is around 35 rupees. If he is a farmer, which is a byproduct for them, 28 rupees to 30 rupees is a profitable for them.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Why? Because of that, our state government is taken initiative that few additional commodities coming into the MSP. Recently, fish is coming at, prawn is coming at, Yalamanam is also coming at. We are planning
to be there, sir.
Yeah, we are planning to demand.
Very good.
Thank you so much, sir. This is Ali Hussain, running a NGO from 16 years.
Oh, very good, sir.
We need your silage training to our farmers.
Sure, sir. Just text me the details. I will be there 24/7 to help.
Thanks so much. I am lucky fellow. I am lucky fellow. I am listening your presentation.
Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you, guys. Thanks for this interaction. Thank you, sir, for being with us, and it was a wonderful presentation as well as the interaction. On behalf of NADCL as well as IGFRI, I would like to thank you and would like to hear more from you in the future endeavors of ours. Thank you. Thanks a lot. All the participants are requested to leave and they can join us back at 2:30, which is the second session. Thanks a lot, sir. Thank you.
Thank you so much. I should say special thanks to the organizers, and thank you so much for listening to me, all the participants. Whenever you heard of farmer or dairy or feeding fodder, just text me on my mobile number. I will be there to help. Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir. Thanks a lot.